At the edge of a vast, whispering forest, there was a small village called Willowbrook. Its houses were painted in cheerful colors, and the smoke from chimneys curled like gentle spirals into the sky. For generations, the people of Willowbrook had lived peacefully, their lives woven into the rhythm of the seasons. But one day, the forest began to stir in some very unusual ways. It all started with the squirrels. These tiny, bushy-tailed creatures started leaping from tree to roof, chattering and exploring every nook and cranny of the villagers' gardens. Then the deer came. Graceful and gentle, they began to wander between the cottages as if the cobblestone streets were their own ancient paths. Birds with feathers of every imaginable color perched on windowsills and rooftops, singing melodies the villagers had never heard before, songs that seemed to carry the very magic of the woods. At first, the villagers were cautious. It wasn't every day that a wild deer would peek into your kitchen. Children would run to the doors, their eyes wide with wonder, just to catch a glimpse of a curious fawn. Mothers laughed as cheeky squirrels nibbled on shiny apples that were laid out to dry in the sun. Even the village elder, a wise woman named Old Marin, had to admit that the forest had grown unusually bold. Watching a family of deer drink from the fountain in the square, she smiled and said, "It seems the forest has chosen us as its friends." As the weeks turned into months, the villagers learned to live alongside their new neighbors. They weren't just visitors anymore. They were part of the community. People built small wooden feeders for the birds, painted miniature bridges for the squirrels to cross the streets safely, and left bowls of fresh water out for the thirsty deer. And in return, the forest creatures brought a new kind of life and enchantment to the village. The blossoms in the gardens grew brighter, the fruits on the trees ripened faster and sweeter, and the air was constantly filled with the sounds of laughter, both human and animal alike. By the time spring arrived, Willowbrook had completely transformed. It was no longer just a village at the edge of a forest. It had become a living, breathing garden, a place where humans and animals shared their homes, their gardens, and even their stories. The villagers realized that sometimes when nature draws near, it doesn't bring chaos. Instead, it brings friendship, joy, and a little bit of magic to those who are willing to open their hearts and welcome it in. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tailies from magical places. See you next time.